So Team Thamma talks about Loka because BR asked a really good question and I'm very happy that he asked it. We finally will get some answer at least from the makers. We'll figure out ourselves what is the real answer. But since Loka came out, if you don't know spoilers, there are too many similarities with Thamma. And the way Loka did, like it's a great experience, a great well-made film. So the standard is really high before Thamma comes out. So a lot of people have seen the film. The film will be out on OTT before the Thamma comes out. So let's see what happens. But first, let's hear from them what they have to say about this comparison. If you haven't seen the original interview, I'll put the link description. I'm only checking out a segment of this interview. This is a reaction or a substitute to that. I do watch the whole interview there, but here, let's check this out. Let's hear what they have to say.
Have you guys seen Loca?
Yes.
Any similarities?
Two people
Did
nodded.
Sometimes what happens is you're doing a movie on your own and then somebody else is doing a movie on their own.
It's not that they both films have copied each other or something like that. They both have been making separate films, and it's just that came before this, so there'll be comparisons.
Then suddenly there's a collision. I remember very long ago in Hollywood, one company was making this tidal wave movie called Deep Impact, and another movie was making another tidal wave movie, and they both landed up in summer and both ended up becoming blockbusters. There are many examples like this. So
That's
I don't know about
exactly
this
what's going to
one.
happen.
Good.
what did you like? How would you
Good. That should be your attitude.
like when you look at Loca and when you look at this? What do you think is like different here? What is on the menu here that was not in Loca?
We are high on comedy,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
And the
Interesting statement that you can tell from the trailers also. But there is a lot of genuine humor in Loka too.
I enjoyed Loca,
But of course, it's not a comedy film. It's more of a thriller.
but I also feel that I was shooting in Allahabad that time. It was not released there, so ours is a more massy film because it penetrates down to the Hindi-speaking markets also. So
Okay.
Loca could be a good induction for certain multiplex audiences towards this thing, but we have a different genesis, different situations, and it's a different story. But that's about it. There's hardly any similarity.
But you do have a female vampire.
Do we?
No? No?
I don't
She
know.
could be another
Oh.
creature.
She's denying everything.
She could surprise
This is
you.
her.
Yeah.
This is not happening.
So I saw the interview till this point before, where there are rumors, pictures. She got married, and we are kind of made a good joke about it. That was funny. And she said in a statement that she cannot reveal the name of her character. So maybe there's some big thing about that in the film, just like how Neely in Loka, maybe something like that. So we don't know Rashmika is playing a vampire or not, because in the trailer also we never see the fangs. She's out in the daytime, nothing is affecting her. But Aishman is, we see the fangs and he's in the daytime, cannot go out, kind of a thing. So there's something else with her character.
That's not happening.
No,
Professionally,
I
this is
could be
not happening.
anything in
Personally,
the
that's not
film.
happening.
Like,
So,
you'll be surprised.
You're not playing anything. So the
I could
Poison
be
Baby
anything.
song, whatever you were seeing there, it's like a little.
I haven't seen the
toy.
song
Then
yet.
just give her 2 more coffees.
Yeah.
That's all you.
Yeah,
But
that's
just-
me on 2 extra
just
coffees.
to tell you a little bit about Loca, so I haven't seen it, but 2 of the
Okay.
kids in office went in, and it's an exceptional film.
Mm-hmm.
I think the world building that they've done is incredible. It's to take something from them, and they've done it so beautifully. The difference being is that I think what I heard from them is that we're a little more. Our genesis is a little more in our own mytho.
Yeah.
And that is the core difference of where it comes from. But and like he said, we have comedy because of what happens, when suddenly in a
Situational.
nice Goyal Parivar in Delhi, vampires are over. What are you going to serve them if you're vegetarian? So there's that kind of humor. So we've kind of, what we try and do is make the situation very human, that you feel it can happen to you.
Yeah.
And I feel that is more believable. And if you do it with that, it's more easier to convince someone of the world.
Right.
So
I can understand that.
and I think they've gone for that.
But I feel that's your pitch for Stree also, which I kind of now is becoming repetitive. That okay, there's a normal, typical, local kind of just next door thing that normal people like us. And what happens if a vampire shows up, or if I turn vampire? What will my family do? Like, and then you're playing that in a comedy way that it's just so absurd. Like Indian family, what is vampire? They don't know. Like, so they are playing on that aspect. Just like in Stree, the kind of the memes they use, like that's the flavor of mad egg horror comedy universe. So that's the typical thing. But I think that's what I'm saying, right? Loka has something similar. They're also like normal, the kids are there and they're teenagers roaming around and having fun, and then something like this happens to them. It's also extraordinary, but they're building on that mythology and building a universe around it. And they have just done it in such a different manner. It's so amazing, and that's the whole competition when I talk about will it affect when you watch Thamma. It should not actually. You should just watch Thamma for what it is. But as I said before, right? If you have seen a greater artistry, using a clay, you made a great portrait, a great thing about it, and then you just see someone make a pot out of it, it will not be that appealing.
A tone, and we've gone for this. But the fact that it's done so well is, great news.
Should be
for
happy,
us.
yeah.
And if you don't mind, I'd actually like to say that when
I'm here to
watched
talk to you.
Loca,
Why should I mind?
Sorry,
Whatever
sorry.
you want to say, whatever.
Sorry.
I'm very happy to.
I get you. When I actually watched Lokah, I'm like really good friends with Kalyani, and I was just big shout out to her. Like what they have just created, like I genuinely enjoyed the film. Having DQ and Thomas and Kalyani and the boys and just doing their thing. It was a different world altogether, and knowing where we are coming from, knowing what we have in stores, I can promise you that it's going to be a different experience.
Yeah.
Like you can't put both the films together. And of course, right now, I understand where this question is coming from, but tomorrow when you walk out of Thamma, it's going to be a new conversation.
Yeah.
At the tables.
And I also think it
That's good to hear if that's what they believe.
been very interesting to have seen Loka with your eyes, because you know what this is about and you're watching that, as opposed to the rest of us who are seeing that for the first time without any, so
and like
were
you said, I was like, oh, so they were also doing a film in this arena. But watching the film, I was like,
You can say Dangal and like Sultan came out in the same years about wrestling, and they're quite different stories. So in that sense also it could be.
very interesting.
So do check out the whole interview on Gradappa's channel. But hearing that, okay, happy. Of course they would say that. They will not say, oh, we made the same film. Oh shit, we are done. Of course they're not going to say that. We'll figure it out on 21st October. And it from the trailer also, there are a lot of differences in the plot, and it's not going to be the same thing. But again, as I said before, it's not about the plot being same. It's about the style you're going for, the kind of expectation you would had before watching Loka. Thamma, okay, it's 3-2 level, something like that, and if the trailer would have dropped, okay, it looks interesting. Vampires, it'll be interesting to see how they deal with vampires. And I hope they go more in detail with vampires in that mythology, because Loka doesn't really go too deep into that. They're, kind of building a whole different universe about it. It's not about just a vampire, right? So I hope Thamma goes more detail in the vampire mythology and how they're going to explore it, the concept of it. But it's about, like you'll talk about the color grading, you'll talk about editing, you'll talk about the visual effects, how flawless, even for the less budget it is in Loka, how smartly they do it. From the trailers of it, it looks little iffy, in Thamma. So these things will be compared. The experience, the final experience you get. Ayushman, actually, the comparison talked more about, the target audiences. Like, of course, Loka was very, central to Kerala and its mythology, its people, its culture. But just because it's a great film, it traveled everywhere, right? But Thamma is made for, the North Indian audiences, in that setting, they'll understand it for that milieu, right? That's what they're going for. So he talked more about in that comparison. But the comparison actually, when we are talking about, is the level of, filmmaking and storytelling. That has to be exceptional. It should not feel like I'm watching 3-3. That's like it's fumbling. 3-3, but disguised as Thamma, right? It shouldn't feel like that. That's my concern with Thamma. But I'm looking forward to the film. Looking forward to Loka's OTT release also. I'm excited. Let's see what happens. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Check out you next, and I will see you next time.